What's up guys, Chris here from Mainely Mesh. Today I'm going to take you through my second round of the holiday gift buying guide this year. We're going to be talking about some new heads that came out this year. I am going to do a full rundown of kind of my ranked choices for heads for each position and for each pocket style, but that's going to come a little bit later. Just want to kind of knock these three out for you guys before you make any final holiday gift list decisions. So we had a bunch of new heads on the market this year, but these three to me kind of stood out for their next level engineering and also adding some kind of novel features as well. The first I want to talk about is the oldest of all three of these, and it is the epic Hawk Prequel. If you haven't seen my full review of the prequel quite yet, just click this box right here and it'll take you to it. I'll run you through everything. But basically, Epic created the head with the quickest release that I've ever felt for a standard offset head. So they kind of took what they learned from the Hawk and the Hawk sequel in order to create a more modern offset head that still had a crazy quick release. And if you guys haven't tried one of these yet, it is something that you can definitely feel and is a bizarre feeling, but something really cool at the same time. On top of that, as far as durability goes, Epic has an industry-leading year warranty on all their heads, and actually when I was out there and I visited their headquarters out in Minnesota, they showed me the box of all of the returned heads they've ever had, including the Hawk Prequel, and the Hawk sequel, and there were 6 heads in that box. 6 heads out of 3 different types. You know, over years of usage, they've only received 6 returns. So clearly they're doing something right. It's super durable. It's a very light head as well, but something that's just, it's got a really cool feel. I would definitely check it out if you're playing indoor this year. And I think, you know, it's something that's taken me a little bit longer to get used to because I am so used to that very low, long release of a more traditionally offset head. But if you're a younger player, I would absolutely grab one of these because I think it's something that could really improve your game. And since you are younger and will have more time to get used to it, it's something that you're going to be up and running with it way faster than I ever would be. So Epic Prequel, definitely probably my top on the list for an offensive player this year. Now transitioning to more of the LSM guys, although it could definitely be used as an offensive head. My next head on this year's holiday gift buying list is the Stallion 700. If you haven't seen my full review, click the link right here once again. But I'm really loving the Stallion 700 for a few reasons. They shaved off a little bit of weight from the Stallion 500 and the 550, fixed the throat issues, added some nice aesthetic features if that's what you're into, but then most importantly, knocked the scoop out of the park. So they have their new speed scoop on this bad boy. It's arguably one of my favorite scoops on the market, especially from a defensive perspective, because it hides and protects these top strings so well. If you're a D-pole who just wants your stick strung and then wants to forget about it for a while, but wants a more offensive feel, I would absolutely grab one of these. Whether you're an LSM or a close defender, I think this is going to be hard to pass up. I've never really been a fan of too wide of heads anyways, so I think you're really going to want to keep an eye on this bad boy. If you are a short stick, you know, wouldn't necessarily be my first choice, but it is much lighter than the Stallion U to begin with. So if you've used the Stallion U before and you loved it, this is a much needed improvement in my opinion. So I would still snag one of these boys, but I think overall it's leaning a little bit more in the LSM D-pole category, the Stallion U 700. Last but certainly not least is kind of a blend of offensive and defensive heads as well. This is the Stringking Mark 2V head. Obviously, the 2V has gotten a ton of hype, and it's tricky. I don't want to force you guys into snagging this too quickly because they are indeed coming out with a Mark 2A and a Mark 2D. The Mark 2A will be focused with more of kind of a lower offset, something I'm really excited about for more of an attackman, and the Mark 2D will be a bulked up version that'll be much more geared towards a defensive player. So if you fall into one of those two categories, if you're a heavy, you know, close D player, or you're an attackman who likes a lower offset, I wouldn't go ahead and snag this thing. But if you liked the Mark 1, if you liked the Mark 1, which a lot of you guys did, then you have to snag the Mark 2V. The scoop on this thing is probably the single best on the market. It's super smooth. They even improved the Mark 1 scoop, and you guys like the Mark 1 scoop a lot. I think they really knocked it out of the park. It's a park. What am I doing today? They really knocked the scoop out of the park. They obviously added those 29 sidewall holes, which is absolutely ridiculous. So if you enjoy stringing, you're going to have a ton of fun with this. They really strengthened the head overall, I think, made it super stiff while still shaving it all the way down to 4.7 ounces. So this is one of the lighter universal spec heads on the market already, but I still think it's going to really hold up well in the long term. As far as using this for an LSM, I will tentatively say it'll be great, but at 4.7 ounces, I've just never experienced a head that light that can do so well at the long stick position. So tentatively, I want to say yes. The Mark 1 held up pretty well, and they're saying this is probably stronger than the Mark 1. So I think you guys will be great. It definitely fixed any of the throat issues that the Mark 1 had. Has that cool little anti-rattle locking thingy-mabobber doohickey at the bottom. So it's something that I think deep holes would like. Wouldn't necessarily recommend it to a low pocket attackman. It does have that same kind of feel and throwing mechanic that the Mark 1 did. But if you like the Mark 1, like I said, I really think you got to grab the Mark 2V. So that's about it for the head portion of our holiday gift buying guide. I'm going to see if I can't come up with a few other kind of miscellaneous items to throw out there. Let me know if you guys thought I ignored any heads down below. Maybe wonder why. Ask me and I'll try to respond as much as I can. Definitely had a ton of heads out on the market, and I'm sure a bunch are going to be coming out in the future too. We have more and more different companies getting into the head game. It's getting pretty wild. Who knows what's going to happen next? Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the full reviews to these heads in the bio down below. Thanks so much. I will catch you guys next time.